Welcome back everybody to another episode of Sneaker Updates. This will be Sneaker Updates number 28. If you happen to be new here, this has now become a weekly series on the channel, and if you're not familiar with the series, essentially we go over a variety of different sneakers, that of which got updates for throughout this week. For example, some of those may potentially include some Yeezys, Jordans, and more. No off-white today, unfortunately. But anyway, let's kick it off with some Jordans, since that's where the bulk of today's info lies. Kicking it off on March 12th for $190, the Nigel Sylvester noise-canceling ones will be dropping on Nike sneakers, alongside some other two shoes as well. I know you guys are going to ask, so I'll say, despite the high retail of $190 compared to $160, there's still some small profit to be made if you go for the right sizes. As most of you should know by now, when it comes to Jordan 1s, you're going to want to stick to sizes under 10. Specifically, the smallest sizes possible are going to be your best bet. So if you are skeptical, just go for that 8 or 8.5. And of course, for those of you unaware, Nike Sneakers does do free return. Definitely a personal for me though, I think these are really nice. Moving on to March 14th, the Jordan Apex Flight Utility will be dropping for $200. This is actually the wider drop following the AR hunt that occurred a couple of weeks ago. Then moving on March 15th for $190, we have the women's Jordan 6 Alili May. Today we actually saw exclusive access for this shoe, but the main drop is going to be occurring on the 15th on Nike Sneakers and multiple other retailers, of course. Finally, my favorite, this is something I'm really excited for. Courtesy of Han Zuying, we have our in-hand picks of the Yellow Toe Jordan 1 supposed to be releasing in a couple of months. I've seen a lot of good Jordan 1s, and I have to say, this one is at the top of my list. As you guys know, if you've been following me for quite a while, you know that I really love the shoes that pop, that stand out and break necks, and now we got that on a nice, clean silhouette. Anyway, moving on, we also got a look at the Jordan 11 Low Snakeskin, which is very reminiscent of what we saw 5 years ago or so from the green Snakeskin 11 Lows. But with that out of the way, all Jordans out of the way, why don't we move on to some Yeezys? Unfortunately for Yeezys, there's nothing much, specifically because we basically already spoke about everything in the last video. I guess the only new thing today would be that I did put out some raffles for the Yeezy 350s. Now, I only did one colorway. I'm, of course, going to be doing the other two colorways. Feel free to follow my Twitter for that. My Twitter is KeithAdam10, but, you know, you don't have to. Anyway, Kim Kardashian gave us an in-hand look at some kids' Yeezys that we have not seen yet. For example, some unique ones would include the glow-in-the-dark Yeezys. Not only those, but black 700 V2s. Gotta be honest, I'm really looking forward to these glow-in-the-dark Yeezys. Definitely some neck breakers, not gonna lie. Moving on, though, to some miscellaneous sneakers. Kicking it off, the Mars Yard Landing Air Max 90 will be dropping on March 16th. Today, actually, I just put out a ton of raffles. Just a couple that I found. Feel free to sign up for them. Again, Twitter is KeithAdam10. You don't have to follow me, but that's where I did put the raffles. And moving on, we had the Duke Kyrie 5 dropping March 14th for $130. And finally, courtesy of Foamalicious, we got a look at the Snakeskin Foamposites. Honestly, I'm not too big of a fan of these, although I'm a huge fan of Foamposites, and I really have to say I love those Memphis foams that dropped on City Gear. But in all honesty, these aren't my favorite, and that's saying a lot because I really do love Foamposites. I know there's a lot of Foamposite haters out there. But anyway, with that, I'm going to conclude today's video. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, or if you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, subscribe and turn on post notifications to stay 100% updated on every single hype shoe that's going to be releasing. With that, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
Get that big foot away from me. Get your foot off my foot. Ah.
Get your foot off my foot. Yeah.
Why are you hurting me with your foot? Can't you find somewhere else to keep it put? Get your foot off my foot. Ah.
Get your foot off my foot. Yeah.
And mom always told me not to play when another man's foot is in the way. Get your foot off my foot. Ah.